Hello guys, and welcome back to another programming tutorial. Today, we're going to be coding in Java. So Java is it's a high-level programming language that is a little bit more difficult than Python, but it's not as difficult as programs like C, C++, C Sharp. So Java is used for game development, for mobile app development. And Java does actually run faster than Python. However, it is a little bit more complicated, but it does run faster, and it can be used on every single operating system, whether that's mobile, on a computer. It can be used anywhere. So today I'm going to be showing you the simple commands, and I'm going to show you how to start a Java project. What 2 key things you need to start a Java project. So first, we're going to create a class. This class is just going to be a place where code will be executed. So a class is basically just part where code is going to be executed. You need a class to execute some sort of code. So first we're going to type class. Now you can name this class whatever you want, but like I said, but here's an important thing: do not add spaces when you're naming a class. All of these up here are classes. As you can see, none of them have spaces in them. They're all typed like this. So for example, let's take percentage calculator. So you can see that the word percentage is lowercase, but then the word calculator is uppercase, so that we know which word that is. So you can name it like this. For example, if you want to name the class super cool percentage calculator, super is going to be lowercase, and then every other word is going to have their first letter uppercase. You can also use underscores, but it just looks better like this. So don't use spaces when you're naming a class. By the way, we're going to be making all of these, except for attendance, because that's the exact same as percentage calculator. Anyways, off topic. Let's name our class. I'm going to name this Java Tuts. You can name this however you want. You can name it main, you can name it cool class, you can name it whatever the hell you want, but do not add spaces. Next, we're going to add opening curly bracket. This IDE is IntelliJ. This is a very good IDE for beginners. I only use this, and it's gonna automatically put the ending bracket. So add a curly bracket and press enter. You'll see that we have this line of code here, which is in between these two curly braces. Now we need to type out a long statement on every single one of our projects. Or programs, sorry. Programs, I'm going to mix those up, so don't worry about it. So, first we're going to type public. This means that it can be used anywhere. Static void, which means that it's not going to return anything. Main. I'm just going to declare what type it is. String. Square brackets. Args. Now this is going to be pretty difficult to remember at first. Public static void main string args. This is going to be pretty difficult to remember at first, but if you just keep on typing it out, you're going to get used to it eventually. And if you're IntelliJ, you can just type in PSVM and then press tab. That's going to autocomplete for you, and it's also going to add the curly braces. But for the sake of this tutorial, just so that we can learn, I'm going to type it out manually. So public static void main opening brackets string square brackets args. We're also gonna add curly brace, and there we go. This is where code's gonna happen. So you need to have these 2 things. You need to have a class, and you need to have public static void main string args for your program to work. Now let's get on with the first easiest command, which is also pretty long, but trust me, it's system.out.println hello world. This is also going to take some time to learn, system.out.println hello world, but just like public static void main string args, in IntelliJ you can just type in SOUT, so what? Press tab and it auto-completes system.out.println. But once again, for the sake of this tutorial, we're you're gonna type it out manually. So the only way to really remember these is just to type them out manually many times, and you'll eventually just know them. So system.out.println, but you read it as println, println, hello. And if you have a line of code that is not a method or does not go into any other lines of code, you're gonna have to put a semicolon at the end. This basically tells Java that this is the end of the line. We shouldn't execute any more code on this line. So in every single Java project, you need to have a semicolon at the end of a line of code that is not a method. Methods have curly braces, but we're gonna get onto methods in another tutorial. But make sure to always add a semicolon at the end on this type of script. So we're gonna go ahead and run this. So by clicking, so in IntelliJ you just click this little green button, then it's gonna like load some things, and there we go. Hello world. We now made our first Java program, and this outputs hello world. Nice. Okay. Good. So this is the most basic program that you're gonna learn first, probably. Now, we're gonna make, at the end of this tutorial, we're gonna make this calculator. I know it seems difficult at first, but trust me. Alright, now let's get on to making variables. So we're just gonna delete this little line of code. When we declare variables, we can either do two things. We can initialize a variable, so int variable. Now we declared what type of the variable is, so this variable is an integer. There are multiple types of variables. So we have int, which is a number, integer. We have string, with an uppercase, string my variable, so which means that this variable is a type of string, which is text. We have double, which can also store decimals. It's basically int, but stores double the amount of things, storage. We also have boolean, which can be true or false. So, which means that a boolean variable only has two states, true or false. And we also have float, which is a decimal number. Float is only a decimal number. Float is a decimal number. So let's say we want my variable to be type of string. String my variable. Then my variable equals you can also, so this is declaring a variable by first telling Java what type of variable it is, and then setting that variable. You can also do this. String my variable equals hello world. So this one is better because it's just one line of code. And make sure to add a semicolon. So this is just one line of code. So you declare the variable, and then you also declare what value the variable is going to store. So string my variable equals hello world. I'm going to type system.out.println my variable. Make sure to semicolon. Let's run this again. So as you can see in IntelliJ, that's going to load. There we go. It also outprints hello world. So that's how we declare variable. Let's say we have a variable int num equals 12. Let's say we have float desnum equals 15.1354. Double, which can also be a decimal number, double num equals, let's say, 16.35. Oh, we have an error. There we go. So you can also convert this to float by just adding an F at the end. You saw I got an error there. Flow is basically just that. So if you want to, so you just add an F at the end. Then you're not gonna get that error. And we have Boolean. Say bool equals true. Sorry, true, it has to be lowercase. Boolean bool. Let's say we have Boolean false bool equals false. Now let's say we want to print all of this. We're just gonna type SOUT. So what? Then we're gonna num. Duplicate this 1, 2, 3, 5 times. Dec num. Double num. Bool. False bool. I'm gonna run this now. And as you can see, there are all of our values. We have hello world, we have 12, 15.1, 16.35, true, false. Good. Okay. Now that we're done with that, let's get on to if statements. So if statements, exactly the same as Python, are parts of code that will run only when a certain condition is met. So in Java, you type ifs with parentheses, unlike Python. You need to have parentheses and you write them with curly braces. So let's say if, false bool equals false. So for equality, we use the 2 equal signs, just like in Python, but this time we don't use this. We don't use a colon. We use curly braces. So if false bool is equal to false, then let's do something. Let's say system out print line. False. Then else system out print true. So as you can see, we're just gonna name this one bool. Swap this variable out with just bool. So if bool equals false, system not output line false, else print true. Here. Okay. Don't forget semicolons, guys; they're very important. So we're gonna run this again. So bool is false. So if bool equals false, as you can see, it's gonna print false. We can remove this first up. So if bool equals false, print line false. So as you can see, we get now print false. But if we change bool to true, we're gonna get true. But let's say we want multiple. So instead of else, we're gonna type else if bool equals true. Then we're gonna print this. And then else. Bool is invalid. But this is never gonna run, by the way, because we're gonna get an error if we set this boolean bool to anything other than true. If you don't believe me, watch. We can set it to true A, as you can see. Cannot resolve symbol true A because that's not boolean. So if somehow this else runs, it will type bool is invalid. But this is not gonna happen, by the way, because we're just gonna get an error either way. So let's see. So if boolean bool equals true. So if bool equals true, system out print line true. There we go. So those are if statements. So we have if, else if. So if checks if one certain condition is met. Else if checks another condition if it's met. If the first one was not met, and then else just does something if none of the above condition and none of these conditions were met. So really quickly again, the first part of the if, which is just if, checks for a certain condition. Else if checks for another condition if this condition is not met. Then else if none of these conditions are met, it's just gonna print. It's just gonna run a different set of code. Those are if statements. Nice. Okay. Now we're gonna go on to the scanner. If we go onto the calculator, you'll see this import java.util.scanner. The scanner is very important so that we can input things so that the user can type. It's whoops, sorry, my mouse fell. So basically, the scanner is basically like input in Python, but you can get it by importing it. It's not like already built in Java. You have to import it. Sorry, my mouse got mixed up. So first we're gonna learn the scanner, then we're gonna make the calculator. Okay. So we're just gonna delete this little bit of code. There we go. Make sure to leave these two. So we're gonna go above the class. So 2 lines. We're gonna import java.util, so basically utility, scanner. So import java.util.scanner. Make sure to add simple at the end. You know, if yours is intelligent, it might just be grayed out here because, you know, you don't use it yet, but we're going to. So first we're gonna type scanner, and then you're just gonna name this whatever. You can name it, let's say my scanner, calculator, input. You can name this whatever. I'm just gonna name it scanner. Scanner equals new, which means it's a new object of type scanner system.in. Make sure to add that system.in. System.in. There we go. So scanner. So an object scanner equals a new type of object scanner system.in. Nice. Now we can read user inputs. So let's declare some variables. Let's say string output, string output. So output is a variable of type string. So here we just declare what type of variable this is. So then we're gonna system out print line, enter something to print. Enter something to print. So output. So now we're gonna set output. Output equals scanner dot next line. So there's multiple types. So if you just type in scanner dot next, you'll see all of these. They have next, next int, next double, next boolean, next float, next int, next line. So next int is used for reading the user's next input of number. Double is used for also a number, but it has decimals. Boolean is used to read the user's input of true or false. Float is also decimal numbers. And next line is to read string. So in this case, we need next line because that's a type of string. So next line. So scanner dot next line. So output equals scanner dot next line. So this variable output is now going to be set to whatever the user now types here. And we're going to go system out print line. Gosh dang it. How do I always have issues? So system out print line output. I keep typing output, I don't know why. Okay, output. Alright, let's run this now. So now if we run this, as you can see we get prompted enter something to print. So I'm gonna type this is Java. And as you can see it outprints Java. So now it outprints this is Java. So now we read the user's next line that they entered here, and then we printed the output. Nice. Now we're ready to make this calculator. But I also need to introduce you to the char. Char is just one single character. So let's say char character equals. Now this is the important part. If you're declaring a char, don't use double quotes. When you're declaring a char, as you can see, if you just use double quotes, so don't use double quotes when declaring a char, because as you can see, it's an error. See, found Java string required char. So do not use double quotes when declaring a character. When declaring a character, you must always use the single quotes to indicate that it is just one character. So let's say char character equals f. So you have to make sure that you use a single quote when you're declaring a variable of type char. Okay? So when you're declaring a character, you have to use single quotes. Strings, like let's say enter something to print, are with double quotes because they have more than one character. But characters, just one singular character, is always typed in a single quote. Okay? Good. So let's say char character equals f. System.print character. So just gonna wait for it to load. Do that. Then we print f. So now let's get on with characters and scanner. Enter a character to print. So working with characters in scanner is a little bit different. So first we're gonna change the type of output to a character, obviously, and we can't have scanner.next line. First we're gonna type scanner. So output equals scanner dot next. But we're not done just yet. Scanner dot next dot char at 0. So this is just gonna read what character was just inputted. So next parentheses dot char at 0. So let's say want to print a hashtag, it's gonna print a hashtag. However, if you type an entire sentence or a word, it's just gonna print the first character. So if you type the entire word, it's only gonna print the first character. So this just prints the first character that was entered. So that's how you work with characters with the scanner. Everything else is, so after you type in the word next, you just type in what kind of type it is. So next int, next boolean, next double, but string is the next line. Okay? You gotta remember the string is next line. Next float, and they all start with uppercase. But the only exception is the string, not being next string, but next line. Okay? Good. Alright, now let's make this calculator, okay? Now we know everything to make this calculator. Alright, let's go. So, let's import scanner again. So import Java util.scanner. Then we're going to create class. Let's say my calculator. I'm going to type out. You don't have to, if you're using IntelliJ, you don't have to type out the long public static void blah blah blah. You don't have to type. You don't have to type so much. You can just type in PSVM in IntelliJ, press tab, and it's automatically going to complete. But I can't name a calculator since it already exists, so we're going to go calculator tutorial. I'm going to name it calculator tutorial since I already have a calculator as it's right there. So you also can't have duplicates. If you have duplicates, it's not going to work because you have two classes with the same name. So we're going to make a new scanner object. Scanner equals new scanner system. So this just creates a new object of name scanner. You can also say scanner input, scanner calc. You can name it whatever, but I'm just gonna name it scanner. Scanner equals new scanner system. Good. So now we're gonna print. So now we're just gonna declare a few variables. Let's let's say double. So if you're using calculator, you gotta want decibels. So double first num and double second num and char operator. So operators, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So we need double first num, double second num, and char operator. So now we're gonna system out print line, enter first number. Enter first number. Trying to find the colon on my keyboard. Enter first number. First num equals scanner dot next int. So if you have named your scanner object, let's say input or something like that, instead of scanner, just type like input dot next int, calc dot next int, let's say. So you don't. So what you instead of the scanner, I named it scanner, so I'm just gonna go scanner dot next int. But if you named it something like input, you're gonna go input dot next int. So you're basically just gonna type whatever you call your scanner object dot next int. Alright, good. And I'm gonna go sum out print line, enter second number. I'm gonna go second num equals scanner dot next int. And system out print line, enter operator. Then we're gonna put it in brackets plus minus multiplied division. There we go. And then operator equals scanner dot, like I said, next dot char at 0. So this is, you're gonna read the very first character input. So if we input a whole word, this is gonna take the first character, but in this case we can only type in these. Okay, so if operator equals no, that's gonna, if operator equals plus equals plus print line result, sorry, answer plus. So now we're gonna join these variables into one print, plus first num plus second num plus answer. So we don't need that actually. So you can also wrap this in parentheses. You don't have to, but just for readability, it's better. So remove that. So answer first num plus second num. Else if operator equals minus equals minus system input line answer plus first num minus second num, else if you can also type space there, also for readability. Else if operator equals the star for multiplication. System out inline. Answer plus first num times second num. Oops, accidentally deleted the code base. Else if operator equals slash division. System inline. Answer plus first num divided by second num. And then else, which means that the user types in something invalid. Else system invalid operator. And now a good practice is after all the code is run, you just type in scanner.close, which means that when you don't need the scanner, you just close it. There's our calculator. Let's test it, shall we? So it's gonna press this. So enter first number 43, second number 12, minus answer 31. So it's gonna print out 31.0 because the first num and second num are types of double, so we can, work with decimal numbers too. So we say 554.123. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry. Instead of next int, we need next double, since our numbers are type of double. So sorry for that. So next double. There we go. So scanner dot next double. Wait for it to parse. Enter first number 12.53, 54.3 division, and we get 0.0 blah 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 blah. Alright, that's a basic calculator, and those are also the basic commands in Java. Java is not really incredibly difficult once you learn the basics of it, and you create a super simple program like this one, a calculator with 2 digits. So let's also test. So enter first number. Say invalid operator. So this is a super basic program. Everyone can make this. Java is not incredibly difficult to learn, and once you understand the first few basic commands, you're gonna create super easy projects, programs. Next, I think we're gonna be making a number guessing game, or a pass generator. But pass generator has for loops, which I'm gonna be learning. So we're gonna learn next time how to make a number guessing game. I know it looks complicated, but we're gonna learn it in the next episode. But today we learned a class, public static void main string args. We learned how to outprint that. We learned how to declare variables. We learned how to declare variables. We learned if statements. We learned characters that use single quotes. We learned how to use the scanner too. Actually, sorry, this is the one that I used. So we learned how to assign variables. We learned how to use the scanner. We learned how to print stuff. We learned how to read the user's inputs. We learned if statements. And we also learned how to make this cool calculator project or program. Thank you guys for watching this Java tutorial. I will be making more. I will be making more programming tutorials in Python and Java. I might even consider making an HTML tutorial, however, not 100% sure. If you want to see that, heck, comment if you want to. But this is gonna be it for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.